Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide and empowerment coach. And today I'm coming to you as an angelic astrologer. I've been studying astrology for a few years now, and I combine that with my work with the angelic realm to give you my interpretation of the astrological events that we're swimming through. So what I want to talk about today is what's called the Great Conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn. This conjunction, we just experienced this in Capricorn during the year 2020. And it was Capricorn's a material sign, an earth sign. The conjunction that we're going into, known as the Great Conjunction, is in Aquarius, which is an air sign. So this is a very, very different energy, and it is ushering in a 200-year period where every 20 years, these two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, will meet in air signs. So this is quite significant because air represents intellect. It represents thinking. It can't be contained. So it's really going to shift how we perceive our earthly experience, our lives. So I want to start off noting that this transit, this conjunction, a conjunction is where two planets are within 1 degree of each other. You'll be able to see this in the sky, by the way. You'll be able to actually view it with the naked eye. So you might want to look up where in the world, wherever you are, when that will take place. Today on December 17th, Jupiter is moving into Aquarius. Saturn will join on the 21st, hence the conjunction. 12, 21, 20 reduces down to a 10, and a 10 reduces down to a 1. And 1s represent our thought. They're moving into the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is the 11th house in the zodiac. 11 is the master number of thought. So we see a theme here where these two planets are going into the house of a house of intellect, a house of unique expression, a house of shocking events. It rules electricity, it rules lightning, meaning Aquarius, Uranus, this whole house. It rules the collective. It rules systems without a brain, like the internet, social media. It rules humanity. It rules our hopes and our dreams as well. So what we're going to see is that humanity is going to move towards what I believe are more intellectual pursuits. We're going to see technology take a huge rise, be even more dependent upon technology than we are now. I believe we're going to see more interest in space travel, what's happening out there in the skies, in our universe and beyond. We're going to be interested in maybe even other life forms in other planets and other realms. So I want to start off talking about the idea of what Aquarius means. Because these two planets moving into Aquarius, Aquarius is the most unique sign of the zodiac. It sometimes can feel like the black sheep or like the odd man out, like the weird out. And yet what it offers is that the individual to go out and discover who they are, their unique expression, and then bring that back into the collective in such a way that allows others the same unique expression without judgment and criticism. So where in the past we may have been seeing more of a herd mentality where we want each other to be alike, look alike, and think alike, Aquarius is going to offer us diversity and acceptance within that diversity. So this is a really big theme. And the next 20 years from now, Jupiter and Saturn will be meeting in Libra, the air sign of partnership. So what we do over the next 20 years in the way of allowing ourselves our unique expression will bring us into partnerships in a more, what I think is going to be a more liberated way, in a way that's freer and more joyous expression. So let me talk about how what I believe that Jupiter and Saturn are both social planets. Saturn is a restrictive planet, considered limiting. It's about, sort of has a stoic, conservative energy. It is an earth sign or an earth planet. It rules Capricorn, and it rules Aquarius in ancient times, which is interesting because the modern day ruler is Uranus, and the two energies could not be more polarized and different. And yet, in some ways, they make perfect sense to me, because I believe that the planet Saturn, which has been, it represents discipline, structure, the status quo, old age, limitations, rules, mastery through experience. It's very much about a doing energy. In some ways, it represents patience, because you must be patient, willing to do the hard work and go the distance. It represents austerity, sternness, strictness. It will strip away anything that is unnecessary. Generally, it feels like it takes something away, but I believe it offers things to us, because oftentimes what Saturn will take away is something that we are inadvertently attached to through a fear, through something that may not completely serve us, but yet it's familiar to us. It rules obstacles, restrictions, challenges within the material world. Saturn also rules elders. It is associated with careful strategic planning, moving slowly but surely. It rules governments, borders, states, authority, conservative politics, land, real estates, and mines, things that we mine in the earth. It's also associated with contraction, okay? Now we have Jupiter, which is associated with expansion. Jupiter is, let me grab my notes here. It's associated with religion, philosophy, beliefs, our belief systems, culture in general, global outreach. It expands and amplifies. It represents good luck, prosperity, wealth, generosity. It can represent arrogance and exaggeration and excess, overconfidence. That's in its lower form. It represents long distance travel, foreign ideas, foreign people, foreign places, foreign ideas, exploration of the mind and body, adventure, experience, a broader perspective, seeing the big picture. It represents morality, wisdom, judges, priests. It rules the national beliefs system, your cultures, like Catholicism or being Presbyterian. It rules higher wisdom, university, higher education, master's programs, PhD programs, and things like that. So as we see these two planets come together in Aquarius, so let's talk about, what does Aquarius represent? We talked about an air sign, that air cannot be contained. Aquarius, of the three air signs, is what's called a fixed sign. A fixed sign doesn't like to move. It feels confident in its path. So it's a little inflexible. So Aquarius energy can be very attached to their own ideology, their own perspective in some ways. Aquarius represents ideas, concepts, intellectual pursuits. Everything in Aquarius starts with the mind. It's being able to see the utopian, the potentials of something, the not what is, but what could be. It also is represents air travel, airplanes, electricity. Again, this is where I'm kind of going with this idea of looking to the stars even more. It rules astrology. I think we'll see astrology become a much more everyday tool that people will use, and not just looking at their sun signs in the local newspaper. Aquarius rules the average person. It rules the collective, the groups. It rules technology. It's associated with the future, with looking ahead. What else is there? Innovation and intuition. It's also associated with disruption, because when we innovate something, we're breaking away the old and we're implementing the new. It tends to be ahead of its time, hence that feeling of being a little bit of the weirdo, because it sees things from a different perspective. And I believe that this ushering in of air energy for the next 200 years will bring in more of a arts. I kind of go back to Socrates, to philosophy, to people pontificating and projecting a bigger version of what we can be as humans. So now let's go back to the idea of Saturn and Jupiter coming together in this great conjunction. I've been chatting a bit this year about feeling Saturn's evolution since its original definition: restriction, limitation, contraction. To me, it feels like those dynamics are asking us to stop. You know, as humans, we tend to be on a hamster wheel, running forward, getting what we need to do done. And I feel like Saturn is saying, slow it down and think about your actions, because are they really aligned to what you want and what makes you happy? Aquarius rules our hopes, our dreams, our fears. I'm sorry, our desires, not our fears. It rules our, I just distracted myself. It rules our hopes and our desires. It rules friendships as well. And so what I feel like, as Jupiter, the planet of good luck, and our beliefs comes in, and we rewrite the idea of Saturn, rather than limiting us and taking things away from us, thinking about really what does serve us, and are we taking actions on and beliefs based on what is truly our happiness, or in a limited view of what we think we can manifest on this planet. We have Uranus is also going to make a very significant aspect to these two planets. Once it's called a square, and a square is a tense aspect. So here we have the natural ruler of Aquarius, which is in Taurus right now, squaring on January 17th Jupiter, and then in February, around the 17th, I believe that's the day. Let me check. Oh, maybe it's the 11th. Let me check. Yeah. In my notes. Okay, yes. So on January 17th, 2021, Jupiter will square Uranus. And then on February 17th, Saturn will square Uranus. These two dates, I think, are going to be very significant to see big world events happen, things that we aren't expecting, potentially shocking yet liberating events, illuminations in some kind. This will be part of what is ushering in this new age of Aquarius, this new age of thinking outside the box and allowing our individuality to liberate the collective. We're going to have other dynamics going on throughout the year. Uranus will square these planets 2 more times throughout 2021. And I'm going to address that later, but I want to make you aware that during this end of 2020, as we enter here in the United States, in the Western Hemisphere, the winter solstice, again, this is a Saturnian energy, cold, the restriction, the ending that winter offers in order for spring to come with new blossoms and new beginnings. So thinking about what you want for your future. And I want to offer this too, because many of you may be endeavoring technological careers or entrepreneurship. This is very much going to be supported by the aspects moving forward. Uranus moving through Taurus, it will then move into Gemini. So this will be another jump in technology. So I want to really offer that. We could be seeing things like, cash money going away, and more Bitcoin and crypto coin, those kind of, that kind of money going around. We could potentially see more and I say this, I don't want to scare people, but there may be some cyber attacks and more people doing some kind of kooky stuff in the beginning of the year via the internet. But I do think that will subside somewhat, because I think that that will then create maybe some restrictions, laws that are focused in on these social media and the type of things that we do on the internet. So overall, what I want to say for this next, I don't even know what period of time to kind of put on it, because it really is, I say it's ushering in a 200-year cycle within 20-year increments. So this next 20 years, and when I think about it, actually, Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct in 1999 in Taurus. And that's when we really started to see cell phones, and we started to depend more and more on email, e-commerce, etc. So that's where I'm playing to this idea, is everything being taken up a notch. And it's funny too, because as I've been meditating on this video, and what I would say, I kept seeing that bar in Star Wars with all the different aliens, having a cocktail and enjoying some time, and the interesting dynamic of being from different parts of the galaxy. And I know this may sound super crazy right now, and I don't think it's happening today, but I do think over the next couple hundred years, we will see this become much more normal. I, of course, will have to have reincarnated by then. So we'll have to, I don't know about that. But anyway, that's really what I want to talk about, is just being mindful of this dynamic that is coming up. If you have any questions, or you'd like to see how this is going to affect you, again, please feel free to reach out. I'm available for readings via Skype, via Zoom. Yeah, that's about it for now. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I made all these notes. I've been thinking about this for days. And now I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let me just look quickly through all of this. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. So be mindful that as you move forward, be hopeful, be excited. Yes, this has been a challenging year, and we're going to see more challenges moving forward as the old systems are breaking away. But if you look at the old systems, you'll see where they've been restrictive and elitism in some ways, and not inclusive. And I'm not talking just about ethnicity or about religious affiliations. I'm talking about just our own personal interests, and the excitement for those and the expression of them. So as we see the current reality evolve into something that we are unfamiliar with, as we think to ourselves, if I give myself permission to be who and what I am, if I allow my desires, my hopes, and my dreams to come to fruition, I'm in many ways allowing others to the same privileges, because my belief will be, if I'm allowed to have my dreams, why can't you have yours? So that's it for now. I'm going to talk more about this conjunction over the next year or so, I'm sure. Because we'll see it starting to make aspects. I'm very curious as to when it starts to be in opposition to the 5th house of Leo, and Leo being representing our personal pleasures and our creative endeavors. And I think that this opposition, while some people will talk about tension gets us to move. People don't move when they're comfortable. They kind of just wait for something to inspire them. And oftentimes that inspiration is something uncomfortable. I hope you found this video helpful. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, intuitive guide, empowerment coach, and angelic astrologer. I'll be back next Monday with pick your angel card reading for the week. And I will be doing another video and talking about this and even more dynamics between Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius for January. So thank you so much. Please like, please subscribe, and please share and comment. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everybody, and have a happy holiday.